The heavy cream envelope trembled in my hands as I traced the gold embossed lettering. Another invitation to another Olsen family event, where I'd be expected to smile through gritted teeth while weathering subtle jabs about my quaint upbringing. My name is Paris, and 3 years into my marriage to Noel, I'm still the family's favourite punchline. "Darling, there you are." Noel's voice echoed through our penthouse as he strode in, loosening his tie. Mother called. "Did you get the invitation?" I held up the envelope, forcing a smile. "Just opened it." He kissed my cheek, oblivious to my tension. "She specifically requested you announce the charity raffle winner this year. Isn't that wonderful?" My stomach dropped. "Me? Why would Kimberly want that?" "Because you're family," he said, heading to the bar cart. "Besides, you did such a fantastic job organising that food drive last month." I almost laughed. The food drive Kimberly had dismissed as adorably provincial at the last family dinner. The same dinner where Bryant had asked if I'd learned my organisational skills working at Goodwill. "I don't know, Noel. Maybe someone else would be better suited." "Nonsense!" He handed me a glass of wine. "Mother insisted. She said, and I quote, 'Paris has such a unique perspective on charitable giving.'" I took a long sip, remembering last Christmas, when Lorelei had loudly wondered if my thrift store coat was a statement about sustainable fashion. The room had erupted in tittering laughter while I stood there, burning with shame. My phone buzzed, Hannah calling. "Sorry, I need to take this," I said, retreating to our bedroom. "Tell me you're not actually considering it," Hannah said, before I could even say hello. "How did you know?" "Lorelei's already posting about the gala on Instagram. She mentioned you're announcing the raffle winner. Please tell me you're not walking into another one of their traps." I sank onto the bed, staring at my reflection in the floor-length mirror. "I don't have a choice. Kimberly specifically requested me. That woman hasn't specifically requested anything from you except your absence at family functions. What's her angle?" "I don't know, but..." I paused, an idea forming. "Hannah, what if this is exactly what I need?" "I don't like that tone. That's your 'I'm about to do something crazy' tone. The raffle prize is usually something ridiculous. Last year it was a private island getaway. What if..." I lowered my voice, though Noel was probably 3 drinks into his evening routine by now. "What if I arranged something they couldn't possibly mock?" Paris. Something that would force them to see me differently. Paris, no. Something that would make them eat every nasty word they've ever said about me. "You're going to get yourself into trouble," Hannah warned. "I'm already in trouble. I'm drowning in their judgment, their snide remarks, their constant reminders that I don't belong." My voice cracked. "I can't keep living like this." A knock at the door made me jump. "Paris?" Noel called. "Mother's on the phone. She wants to discuss the announcement with you." "Just a second," I called back, then whispered to Hannah. "I have to go, but I need you to help me with something. Can you meet tomorrow?" "This is a bad idea," Hannah said, but I could hear her resolve weakening. "Coffee at the Grove, 10 a.m. Perfect. And Hannah, thank you." I hung up and smoothed my dress, taking a deep breath before opening the door. Noel held out his phone, smiling encouragingly. "Paris?" Kimberly's voice dripped honey-coated venom. "I trust you're pleased with the honour of announcing our grand prize winner this year." "Absolutely, Kimberly. I'm touched you thought of me." "Well, we all agreed you have such intimate knowledge of charitable causes. And since the prize is quite substantial this year, we thought it fitting to have someone announce it who truly understands the value of money." My fingers tightened around the phone. "How thoughtful. I won't let you down." "I should hope not. The gala raises millions for underprivileged children. We can't have anything go wrong." As I hung up, my reflection caught my eye again. The woman staring back wasn't the same person who'd married into this family 3 years ago. She was tired of being the joke, tired of swallowing her pride. I picked up the invitation again, running my finger over the date. 3 weeks. 3 weeks to put my plan in motion. 3 weeks to change everything. I grabbed my laptop and opened a new browser window. Time to make some calls. You want to donate how much? Hannah nearly choked on her latte, drawing curious glances from nearby tables at the Grove. I leaned forward, lowering my voice. Everything I inherited from my grandmother. Every penny. Paris, that's your safety net. Your escape fund. We've talked about this. I know, but think about it. I pulled out my notebook, showing her the figures I'd calculated last night. The raffle usually raises around 50,000. My inheritance is triple that. Hannah's eyes widened as she scanned the numbers. And you want to donate it anonymously? Through Beau Ward's foundation. He's already agreed to help. The philanthropist? How did you even get in touch with him? I smiled, remembering the late-night email exchange. Remember that literacy program I volunteered for last summer? The one Bryant said was cute, but insignificant? Beau was the primary donor. We kept in touch. And he's willing to be your front? More than willing. He's been looking for a way to partner with the Olsen Foundation anyway. This kills 2 birds with 1 stone. Hannah sat back studying me. You've really thought this through. I have to make it perfect. When I announce the prize, I want to see their faces when they realise it's the largest donation in gala history. And they'll have no idea it came from their favourite charity case. Hannah shook her head, but I could see her fighting a smile. It's deliciously petty. I love it. My phone buzzed. A text from Lorelei. Speaking of petty, what does the snake want now? I showed her the message. Darling, do try to dress appropriately for the announcement. The photographers can be so unforgiving. Cess O. I swear, Hannah muttered, that woman exists purely to make others miserable. Not this time. I pulled up Beau's contact. Want to help me make some arrangements? We spent the next hour coordinating with Beau, setting up the anonymous donation through his foundation. As we finished, Hannah grabbed my hand. Paris, wait, what about Noel? Are you ever going to tell him? The question hit me like a punch to the gut. I don't know. He's not like them. He loves you. He also loves his family, and he never notices when they hurt me. I blinked back tears. Remember our wedding? When Kimberly announced she'd had my dress professionally altered because the one I chose was charming but inappropriate. Of course. You cried for hours. And Noel just said his mother was trying to help. I wiped my eyes. He means well, but he's blind to it all. My phone buzzed again. Kimberly this time. Paris, dear, we need to discuss the announcement protocol. Come for tea this afternoon? Hannah read the message over my shoulder. Don't go alone. I have to, but don't worry. I showed her the confirmation email from Beau. Everything's in motion. At Kimberly's mansion that afternoon, I sat perfectly poised on her antique settee, sipping Earl Grey from bone china cups that probably cost more than my first car. Now then, Kimberly said, setting down her cup. About the announcement. We've prepared a script for you. Nothing too complicated, dear. Just read it exactly as written. She slid an envelope across the coffee table. Inside was a single page of carefully worded text that managed to mention the Olsen family's generosity, no less than 6 times. Actually, I said, keeping my voice steady, I've been working on something special. A surprise element that I think will really elevate the moment. Kimberly's perfectly penciled eyebrows arched. A surprise? Oh, I don't think that's wise. We prefer everything to run smoothly. Trust me, it will be memorable. Memorable isn't always good, Paris. She leaned forward, her voice dropping. We've worked very hard to maintain certain standards. Standards that some might find challenging to understand. The implied insult hung in the air between us. 3 years ago, I would have shrunk under her gaze. Today, I met it head-on. I understand perfectly, Kimberly. In fact, I think you'll find my contribution exceeds all expectations. She sat back, studying me with newfound wariness. Well, we'll see, won't we? Do try not to disappoint us. As I left her house, my phone pinged with a message from Beau. Everything's set. They won't know what hit them. I smiled, thinking of Kimberly's carefully controlled world and how it was about to be shaken to its core. 3 years of subtle digs and not-so-subtle humiliation were about to pay unexpected dividends. Let them underestimate me one last time. Mrs. Olsen, we need verification of the prize value for the insurance paperwork. The event coordinator's voice crackled through my phone speaker, sending a jolt of panic through me. I paced my home office, grateful Noel was at work. I thought Beau was handling all of that. Mr. Ward's office directed us to you. They said you're the point person for the donation details. Right, of course. I fumbled through my desk drawer for Beau's paperwork. I'll email everything within the hour. It's just... She hesitated. The amount seems unusually high. Are you certain about the figures? Absolutely certain. I pulled up the documentation on my laptop. I'll have Mr. Ward contact you directly to confirm. After hanging up, I immediately called Beau. Already handled, he answered, anticipating my concern. My assistant is sending over the verified documentation now. Everything's legitimate, Paris. Stop worrying. But what if... Trust me, I've done this before. The money's clean, the paperwork's perfect, and the foundation's reputation is sterling. Focus on your part. A text from Brian interrupted us. Mother says you're being difficult about the announcement. Don't mess this up. I have to go, I told Beau. My brother-in-law is about to grace me with his presence. Sure enough, Bryant walked into my office 10 minutes later, not bothering to knock. What's this about you changing the script? Hello to you too, Bryant. Please, come in. I didn't look up from my computer. Cut the attitude. Mother's worried you're going to embarrass us. Heaven forbid. This isn't a joke. He perched on my desk, forcing me to acknowledge him. This gala raises serious money for serious causes. It's not some discount charity drive. I met his gaze coolly. Believe it or not, I understand the value of money quite well. Right, because you grew up without it. He smirked. Which is exactly why Mother's concerned. You don't understand how these things work in our circles. My phone buzzed. An email from Lorelei to the entire family. Darlings, heard whispers about a special surprise at the gala. Should we be concerned? What surprise? Bryant demanded. Guess you'll have to wait and see. He stood straightening his designer jacket. Don't get cute, Paris. This isn't your little world of bargain bins and clearance racks. This is our legacy. After he left, I called Hannah. They're getting nervous. Good, she said. Let them sweat. How's the speech coming along? I glanced at my notes. Almost done. Beau's reviewing it tomorrow. And Noel, still clueless? He thinks I'm just excited about the honour. I sighed. He actually said he's proud of me for embracing the family traditions. Men can be so oblivious. Hannah paused. Speaking of which, Lorelei was asking questions at the country club today. My heart skipped. What kind of questions? About your finances, your background. She's digging. She won't find anything. The donation's completely anonymous. Just be careful. That woman's like a bloodhound when she senses drama. Later that evening, during dinner with Noel, my phone lit up with a call from the gala committee. Excuse me, I said, stepping away from the table. This is Paris. Mrs. Olsen, We've reviewed the documentation, but we need to discuss the presentation logistics. This is, it's unprecedented. I understand. Can we meet tomorrow? Certainly. And should we include Mrs. Kimberly Olsen in the meeting? No, I said firmly. The donor requested strict confidentiality until the announcement. When I returned to dinner, Noel was watching me curiously. Everything okay? You seem tense lately. Just nervous about the announcement. He reached across the table, squeezing my hand. You'll be fantastic. Mother wouldn't have chosen you otherwise. If only he knew his mother had chosen me expecting me to fail spectacularly. The thought of her face when I revealed the donation almost made me laugh out loud. My phone buzzed again. Another email from Lorelei. Paris, darling? Lunch tomorrow? We simply must discuss your plans for the gala. Don't do it, Hannah texted seconds later. It's a trap, I replied to Lorelei. So sorry, busy with gala preparations. Rain check. Her response was immediate. Pity. I do hope your surprise lives up to expectations. Hate to see you disappoint the family. Again. I set my phone down, smiling. Let them speculate. Let them worry. In 1 week, their perfectly ordered world of old money and older prejudices would be turned upside down. And I would be the one holding the mic when it happened. The gala ballroom sparkled like a crystal cave, all gleaming chandeliers and champagne flutes catching the light. I adjusted my midnight blue gown, purchased from a designer boutique this time. No chance for commentary about bargain hunting tonight. Paris! Lorelei's voice cut through the crowd. That dress is interesting. Trying something new. Actually, it's Valentino. I smiled sweetly. I believe you have the same one in emerald. Her face tightened. How resourceful of you. Speaking of resources, I hear the raffle prize is quite substantial this year. You'll have to wait and see. Oh, come now. She touched my arm, her red nails like talons. Surely you can give me a hint. After all, we're practically family. Lorelei, Beau's voice boomed as he approached. Wonderful to see you. Paris, may I borrow you for a moment? He steered me away, whispering, Everything's in place. The documentation's been verified, and the press release is ready to go live after your announcement. Thank you, Beau, for everything. Don't thank me yet. Kimberly's been asking questions about my foundation's recent activities. My stomach lurched. Does she suspect? No, but she's suspicious. Be ready for anything. Noel appeared with 2 champagne glasses. There's my star of the evening. Mother's looking for you. Something about reviewing the script one last time? Actually, Beau interrupted smoothly, Paris and I need to discuss some last-minute logistics. Would you mind if I borrowed her for a few more minutes? As Noel walked away, I caught Kimberly watching us from across the room. Her eyes narrowed. Bryant stood beside her, typing furiously on his phone. Paris! Hannah arrived, stunning in red. You look amazing. How are you holding up? Like I'm about to jump out of a plane without checking my parachute. Well, your parachute just arrived. She nodded toward the entrance, where a team of photographers was setting up. I may have tipped off some media contacts about a major announcement tonight. Hannah? What? If you're going to drop a bomb, might as well make sure everyone sees the explosion. The orchestra started playing, signalling guests to take their seats. Kimberly materialized beside me, gripping my elbow. A word, dear? She pulled me aside. I've just had a very interesting conversation with the event coordinator about some unusual arrangements. Is something wrong? You tell me. Her eyes bored into mine. What exactly are you planning? Nothing that won't benefit the foundation enormously. This isn't a game, Paris. Our reputation will be enhanced significantly, I cut in. Trust me. Trust you. She laughed softly. My dear, the last time we trusted your judgment, you tried to serve boxed wine at Thanksgiving. Before I could respond, the event coordinator appeared. "Mrs. Olsen, we're ready for you backstage." In the wings, I watched Kimberly take the stage, delivering her usual speech about family legacy and charitable giving. Bryant stood in the front row, still glued to his phone. Lorelei whispered to her table mates, shooting glances in my direction. "You've got this," Hannah squeezed my hand. "Show them who you really are." Noel caught my eye from his table, giving me a thumbs up. My sweet, oblivious husband, about to witness his wife's carefully planned revenge against his entire family. "And now," Kimberly's voice rang out, "I'm pleased to introduce my daughter-in-law, Paris, who will announce our grand prize winner." The applause was polite, expectant. I took a deep breath and stepped into the spotlight. "Before we reveal the winner," I began, my voice steady, "I'd like to share something special about this year's prize." Kimberly stiffened visibly in her front row seat. Bryant finally looked up from his phone. "As you know, the Olsen Foundation has always prioritized making a significant impact." I met Kimberly's gaze. "Tonight, we're taking that impact to an unprecedented level." Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Lorelei leaned forward, her expression hungry for scandal. "Through a remarkable partnership with the Ward Foundation," I continued, nodding to Beau, "this year's prize represents the largest single donation in gala history." The whispers grew louder. Kimberly's face had gone pale. Bryant was frantically typing again, probably trying to verify my claims. "But before I announce the amount," I smiled, feeling the weight of 3 years of condescension lifting from my shoulders, "I'd like to thank everyone who made this possible, especially those who taught me the true value of money." I locked eyes with Kimberly, whose perfectly composed facade was beginning to crack. "Now, shall we reveal just how valuable this lesson has become?" The spotlight felt warm on my skin as I held up the golden envelope. Camera flashes sparkled across the ballroom like stars. "This year's grand prize," I announced, my voice carrying clearly through the sound system, "is a charitable endowment of $150,000. The room erupted in gasps and whispers. In the front row, Kimberly's champagne glass froze halfway to her lips. "But that's not all," I continued, savouring each word. "This endowment comes with a matching donation to the Olsen Foundation, specifically earmarked for educational programs in underprivileged communities." Bryant stood up abruptly, his chair scraping against the floor. Lorelei's mouth hung open in a decidedly unelegant way. That's $300,000 total," someone in the audience calculated aloud. "The largest single donation in our gala's history," I confirmed, smiling directly at Kimberly. "Quite a valuable contribution, wouldn't you say?" The room burst into applause. Photographers' cameras clicked rapidly. I could see reporters scribbling furiously in their notepads. "And now," I opened the envelope, "the winner of this historic prize is—" "Wait!" Bryant strode toward the stage. "Mother, this isn't authorized. We need to verify." "Table 23, I announced clearly into the microphone. "Dr. Sarah Martinez." A woman in a simple black dress stood up, looking shocked. I recognized her as the pediatrician who ran the free clinic downtown, the one Lorelei had once dismissed as quaint. "Dr. Martinez," I continued, "would you please join me on stage?" As she made her way up, Bryant reached the podium, trying to speak quietly. "Paris, you can't do this. The foundation hasn't approved." "Actually," Beau stood up, his authoritative voice carrying across the room, "everything has been fully verified and approved through my foundation. The paperwork is ironclad." Kimberly finally found her voice. "But where did the money—" "The donor wishes to remain anonymous," Beau cut in smoothly. "Their only requirement was that the funds be announced tonight, by Paris." Dr. Martinez reached the stage, tears in her eyes. I don't know what to say. This will help so many children. Perhaps you'd like to share your plans for the endowment, I suggested, stepping aside to give her the microphone. As she spoke passionately about expanding the clinic services, I watched the Olsen family's reactions. Noel looked confused, but proud. Bryant was frantically making calls in the corner. Lorelei had pulled out her phone, no doubt trying to dig up information about the mysterious donor, but it was Kimberly's face I couldn't look away from. The carefully maintained mask of social superiority was cracking, revealing something that looked almost like respect. A truly remarkable gift, Dr. Martinez concluded, one that will change countless lives. More applause thundered through the ballroom. I could see the society photographers positioning themselves for better angles, knowing this would be tomorrow's headline. Paris. Kimberly had made her way to the stage, her voice low. Who is behind this? Someone who understands the true value of charity, I replied. Isn't that what matters? You know something. Her eyes narrowed. This has your fingerprints all over it. Does it? I thought I was just the girl from the wrong side of the tracks who didn't understand your world. Before she could respond, reporters swarmed the stage, shouting questions. Mrs. Olsen, how does it feel to oversee the largest donation in gala history? Can you tell us about the anonymous donor? Was this surprise announcement planned? I answered each question with practiced ease, watching Kimberly's expression grow increasingly strained. Behind her, Bryant was showing something on his phone to Lorelei, both of them glancing at me suspiciously. Hannah appeared at my elbow. You did it, she whispered, and they can't say a word against it without looking like complete snobs. Paris! Noel bounded up, beaming. This is incredible! Why didn't you tell me? It was meant to be a surprise, I said, catching Kimberly's eye. Sometimes the best gifts come from unexpected places. The evening continued with speeches and celebrations, but the dynamic had shifted. People who had previously looked through me now sought me out. Those who had echoed Lorelei's snide remarks were suddenly effusive with praise. As photographers gathered everyone for a group photo, Kimberly gripped my arm. I don't know how you managed this, she hissed, maintaining her camera-ready smile, but don't think it changes anything. I turned to her, matching her smile watt for watt. Oh, but it already has, Kimberly. It already has. The cameras flashed, capturing the moment forever. The society queen and her charity case daughter-in-law standing side by side, their smiles hiding a power shift that would ripple through their world for years to come. The morning after the gala, my phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Local news outlets had picked up the story, and social media was ablaze with speculation about the mysterious donor. Have you seen this? Hannah texted, sending a link to a society column headline. Record-breaking donation transforms annual charity gala. Society's new power player emerges. Before I could respond, Lorelei's number flashed across my screen. Paris, darling, her voice dripped honey. I simply must know. How long have you been working with Beau? We had no idea you moved in such elevated circles. Beau's foundation speaks for itself, I replied carefully. The results are what matter. Of course, though it's fascinating. The timing, the amount, almost as if someone wanted to make a statement. My other line beeped. Bryant calling. I have to go, Lorelei. Paris! Bryant barked before I could say hello. Mother wants a family meeting. Now. I'm actually quite busy. This isn't a request. We're at the house. At Kimberly's mansion, the tension was thick enough to cut. Bryant paced the living room, while Kimberly sat regally in her armchair. Noel stood by the window, looking confused. Explain yourself, Kimberly demanded as I entered. About what? Don't play coy. Bryant thrust his phone at me. I've been doing some digging. Beau's foundation received a massive anonymous donation exactly 3 days before the gala. How interesting. I sat down, smoothing my skirt. Though I'm not sure why you're investigating legitimate charitable donations. Because, Lorelei swept in, fashionably late as usual. The timing is suspicious. And darling, you've never shown such financial capability before. Noel finally spoke up. What exactly are you all suggesting? Think about it, Bryant snapped. Suddenly, our bargain-hunting sister-in-law orchestrates the largest donation in gala history. It doesn't add up. Unless, Lorelei smiled like a cat with cream, she had help. Or perhaps resources we didn't know about. My phone buzzed. A text from Beau. They're asking questions. Stay calm. Everything's legal and documented. I find it sad, I said, standing up, that you're more concerned with where the money came from than the good it will do. Don't deflect, Kimberly cut in. If you're behind this... If I'm behind this, what? I challenged. Would it be so terrible if someone you considered beneath you actually had something valuable to contribute? Paris? Noel stepped closer. What's going on? Ask your family, I replied. Ask them about every snide comment, every backhanded compliment, every time they made me feel worthless because I didn't come from money. The room fell silent. Noel looked stricken. They never, he started. They always, I corrected. You just never noticed. This is absurd, Bryant declared. Mother, we need to issue a statement. Distance ourselves. From what? Beau's voice boomed from the doorway. None of us had heard him arrive. From a completely legitimate donation that's already making headlines? That would be unwise. Kimberly stood. Mr. Ward, this is a private family matter. Is it? Because my foundation's reputation is now tied to this donation. Any attempt to discredit it would reflect poorly on everyone involved. Lorelei's eyes narrowed. You know something. I know that Paris has proven herself more than capable of handling this announcement. I know the donor's paperwork is impeccable, and I know, he fixed each person with a stern look, that questioning the integrity of such a generous gift would be social suicide. My phone buzzed again. Hannah sending a screenshot of social media praise for the Olsen Foundation's progressive new direction and inspiring leadership. Face it, I said quietly. You need this donation more than you need to prove me wrong. Kimberly sank back into her chair, defeated. Bryant stormed out, slamming the door. Lorelei lingered, clearly torn between staying for more drama and maintaining her dignity. Paris, Noel touched my arm. Why didn't you tell me? Would you have believed me? The hurt in his eyes answered for him. Well, Beau clapped his hands, I believe we're done here. Paris, shall we discuss the press conference for tomorrow? The media is very interested in hearing more about this partnership. As we left, I heard Lorelei say to Kimberly, Darling, we need to rethink our strategy. She's not going away. No, I muttered under my breath, I'm not. But as Beau's car pulled away from the mansion, I couldn't shake the feeling that this victory might come with unexpected costs. The look in Kimberly's eyes hadn't been just defeat. It had been calculation. This wasn't over, not by a long shot. Found it! Lorelei's triumphant voice rang through the country club dining room. She slapped a folder onto the table where I sat with Hannah, scattering our lunch plates. Your grandmother's will. Public record, darling. My heart stopped, but I kept my face neutral. Interesting lunch reading. Oh, it is. She pulled out a document. Especially the part about her leaving you a significant inheritance. Almost exactly the amount of our mysterious donation. Hannah gripped my hand under the table as other diners turned to watch. You went looking through my family's records? I kept my voice steady. Had to. Something wasn't adding up. Lorelei's smile turned predatory. Wait until Kimberly sees this. See what? Bo appeared behind her, making her jump. More baseless investigations into a legitimate charitable donation. Baseless? She waved the paper. This proves that Paris had an inheritance. Bo raised an eyebrow. Many people do. It proves nothing about our foundation's anonymous donor. Please, Lorelei scoffed, the timing is irrelevant without evidence. Bo sat down uninvited. However, discussing confidential donation information publicly could be considered harassment. Wouldn't you agree, Hannah? Hannah smiled sweetly. As a lawyer, I certainly would. Lorelei's face flushed. You're bluffing. Try me. I met her gaze. Go ahead, show Kimberly. Let's see how it plays in the press. The Olsons harassing their own family member over a charitable donation that's making them look good. You think you're so clever. She leaned in close. But you've made enemies you can't handle. Actually, a new voice joined in, she's handled you all brilliantly. We all turned to see Noel standing there, his face uncharacteristically stern. How long have you been there? Lorelei stammered. Long enough? He took the folder from her hands. Long enough to finally see what's been happening right in front of me. Noel, I started, but he held up a hand. Don't. We'll talk later. He turned to Lorelei. Leave my wife alone. That's not a request. After Lorelei stormed out, Noel sat down heavily. Why didn't you tell me? Would you have supported me going against your family? I would have supported you being honest with me. He ran a hand through his hair. Do you know what it's like hearing from others how my family's been treating my wife? Having Bryant show me evidence of your supposed deception? I'm sorry, I whispered. Are you? Because it seems like you've been planning this for a while. Not the whole time, Hannah interjected. Just since... Hannah, Bo warned quietly. No, let her speak. Noel looked between us. I want to hear everything. So I told him. About the constant subtle jabs, the social humiliation, the way his family had systematically tried to make me feel small. About how he'd missed or dismissed every incident. The Christmas coat comment? He frowned. I thought that was just Lorelei being... Lorelei? It's never just one comment, I explained. It's death by 1,000 cuts. And the donation? His voice was quiet. Was it really you? I glanced at Bo, who nodded slightly. Yes. I took a deep breath. Every penny of my inheritance. Noel sat back, processing. Why? Because I needed them to see me, really see me, not as the charity case they could mock, but as someone who understood the value of money better than they ever will. By deceiving them? By beating them at their own game, Hannah corrected. They've been playing games with Paris for years. My phone buzzed. A text from Bryant. Mother knows. Family meeting in an hour. I have to go. I stood up. Your mother's waiting. We'll go together, Noel said firmly. No more secrets, no more games, from anyone. At Kimberly's house, the atmosphere was arctic. Bryant stood smugly by the fireplace. Lorelei perched on the sofa, looking vindicated. But Kimberly's expression surprised me. She was smiling. Well played, she said as we entered. I underestimated you. Mother, Bryant sputtered. She deceived us. She outmaneuvered us, Kimberly corrected, using our own prejudices against us. Rather brilliantly, I must admit. You're not angry? I asked cautiously. Oh, I'm furious. Her smile didn't waver. But I respect a worthy opponent. You forced us to accept you, while making it impossible for us to retaliate without damaging ourselves. It's exactly what I would have done. The room fell silent as we all absorbed this unexpected turn. So what happens now? Noel asked. Kimberly stood, straightening her perfectly tailored jacket. Now? Now we adapt. After all, she fixed me with a knowing look. Family is family, isn't it, Paris? But something in her tone made me wonder if this apparent acceptance wasn't just another move in a game that was far from over. The autumn breeze carried the scent of coffee from the grove as Hannah and I sat at our usual table, watching leaves dance across the patio. So they just accepted it? Hannah asked, stirring her latte. Just like that? Not exactly. I showed her the invitation I'd received that morning, another Olsen family event. Kimberly's adapted her strategy. Now she introduces me as our Paris, who orchestrated that brilliant charitable partnership. Using your victory to enhance the family image. Clever. She's nothing if not adaptable. I sipped my coffee. But something's changed. The snide comments have stopped. Even Lorelei's been civil. Fear will do that, Hannah smirked. You proved you can play their game better than they can. My phone buzzed. A text from Noel. Mother wants to discuss your ideas for the holiday fundraiser. Actually wants, not pretending. I checked. Speaking of games, I said, Noel and I had a long talk last night. Finally, how'd it go? He asked why I didn't trust him enough to tell him the truth. I traced the rim of my cup. I asked why he never trusted me enough to believe what was happening. Ouch! What did he say? That he'd been blind because it was easier than confronting his family. But now, I smiled slightly, now he sees everything. A familiar voice cut through the morning air. Paris! Hannah! Bryant approached our table, looking unusually uncertain. Mind if I join you? Hannah started to object, but I gestured to an empty chair. This should be interesting. I owe you an apology, he said, sitting down. I've been awful. Yes, you have, I agreed. The thing is, he shifted uncomfortably, watching you handle that donation situation, seeing how you turned our prejudice into power, it made me realize how wrong we've been. About everything. Why are you really here, Bryant? He pulled out his phone, showing us a news article. The Martinez Clinic's expansion is making headlines. That donation, it's helping real people, actually changing lives. He looked at me directly. You saw that potential when all we saw was an opportunity to show off our wealth. It's amazing what you can see when you look past designer labels, I said pointedly. I deserved that. He stood up. Anyway, I just wanted you to know, I get it now, why you did what you did, and I'm glad you did it. After he left, Hannah whistled low. Well, that was unexpected. It's a start, I said, just as my phone buzzed again. This time it was Beau. Paris, great news. The Martinez Clinic partnership has attracted more donors. They want to create a permanent endowment. Kimberly suggested you head the committee. I nearly dropped my phone. Kimberly suggested what? Her exact words were, Paris understands both sides of charitable giving. She's perfect for this. After hanging up, I sat in stunned silence until Hannah waved her hand in front of my face. Earth to Paris! This is huge! It's suspicious, I countered. What if it's another trap? Or maybe, she said gently, you actually won. Not just the battle, but the war. My phone lit up with a final text from Kimberly herself. Dinner tonight? Just us? We need to talk. At her favourite restaurant that evening, Kimberly was already waiting, looking elegant as always. You're probably wondering why I'm doing this, she said as I sat down. The thought crossed my mind. You did something I didn't think possible. She met my eyes. You made me respect you, not despite your background, but because of it. You understand value in a way we've forgotten. Is this another game? No. She smiled, genuinely this time. This is me acknowledging that I was wrong, and that perhaps it's time for the Olsen Foundation to be led by someone who truly understands both giving and receiving. You're offering me control of the foundation? I'm offering you partnership, equal standing, because you've earned it. She raised her glass. To new beginnings? I studied her face, searching for signs of deception. Finding none, I raised my glass in return. To new beginnings, I agreed, and old lessons learned. Later that night, curled up with Noel in our penthouse, I watched the city lights twinkle. Happy? He asked, kissing my temple. Content, I corrected. I didn't want revenge, not really. I just wanted respect. You got both, he chuckled, and taught us all a valuable lesson about judging books by their covers. Or thrift store coats by their price tags. Especially those. He hugged me closer. You know what the best part is? You did it all without compromising who you are. I smiled, thinking of the Martinez Clinic, of lives being changed, of bridges being built between two worlds I'd always thought were separate. Sometimes the best revenge isn't revenge at all. Sometimes it's simply showing people who you've been all along.